how a vegan or vegetarian diet can actually be blocking expansion of your consciousness. How is this even possible? I will be explaining. And what are the phases of expansion of consciousness? These two stages of expansion and contraction. Why is it important to know about these stages, and how are they related with nutrition? This is what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, and I'll start by telling you a short story of how this whole idea was first given to me by my spiritual guides. And this story will actually allow you to relate better with this information. And after the story, I will break it down and give you the mechanism and explain it more technically. So, the story. It happened during that event that I've already described in one of my videos, talking about my contact with civilization of tall whites, which happened in Russia. For those who haven't watched, it happened in Russia on the Lake Ladoga. There is a forest and a sacred site in forest, which a lot of esoteric schools are using for their yearly gatherings. So I was there with the school that I was attending at that time, and as soon as I arrived to that sacred site, I was contacted by a girl from civilization of tall whites, I call them, because they're all white. So it was civilization who lived there long, long before we came. So this white girl, as I call her, she was channeling information through me. It was just giving me tons and tons of information about everything and everyone for a number of days. And one of the funny things that she was doing, she would be pointing to specific people in camp or my classmates, or and would be just giving me random facts about them, which appeared to be like the most important question of that person at that specific moment. So she would be reading their intentions and giving me right away things like, oh, that guy should eat more carrots, for example. And then she would point at another one and say, oh, like that guy has a little box of white candy in his backpack and he wants to give it to you. Ask him. Then she would point to another one and say like, oh, that guy's trying to conquer interest of that girl and he's using wrong tactics. He should stop doing this and this. He should start telling her this and this and this if he wants to impress her. So she was basically reading the intention of each person and giving me some information. So this was entertaining for the people. So people were coming, asking me, like, what does she say about me? What does she say about me? And we're playing with this for a while. And so I was one of the students on that gathering. So we had teachers and organizers of this event as well. So some of like other students, friends of mine, were actually bringing like teachers and organizers to see me as well, because they were wondering about their opinion about this whole thing that's happening to me. So pretty much everyone has already come to see me, except for one specific teacher. There was one teacher whom we considered to be the most intelligent, the smartest teacher of all in that school. And what I mean by intelligent is that when you listen to his lectures, you get this feeling. I'm pretty sure everyone experienced this at least once when you're watching someone teach, or you're reading a book, for example, and you get this feeling of like being so impressed by how intelligent this person is. You're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like it looks so logical, like such wonderful like words packed into beautiful sentences. Like, oh my god, this person is so intelligent, so intelligent, so intelligent. I understand nothing. I'm sure you've all experienced this. You read a book and you're like, oh my god, yeah, like I clearly can see this is a very smart book, like very intelligent, very clever author, but you understand nothing. And when you experience that, you tend to put that person on a pedestal and like consider like, of course, yeah, he's obviously intelligent because like he's able to write these paragraphs and everyone is impressed and I'm impressed. But you, in that whole dynamics, you feel stupid. Like that's how I felt, that's how all of my classmates felt as well. We were so impressed by his intelligence and we all felt absolutely stupid compared to him because none of his lectures ever made any sense. Like, they sound good, very logical, but you understand nothing. This is important. I'm explaining this in detail because this is important. So that was the only teacher who showed no interest in this white girl that I was channeling. So finally, girls convinced him to come and talk to me. And this morning, when the camp was empty, because like we were having classes there, so everyone was off, gone for the classes, lectures, and the girls told me to stay and wait for him to come. He wants to come and talk to me. So I was there alone. Camp is empty. I'm waiting. He arrives, and he comes and he stands like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 meters away from me, like from distance. He talks. And as soon as he arrives and he just like focuses on me, the first thing he asks is like, oh, so you're Irada, right? And as soon as he asks that, I start having like headache, or like my head, I feel like it's being like squeezed and my skull is like experience, like really I feel like it's gonna explode. It felt weird. Suddenly it started as soon as he arrived. And uh, he is talking from distance, from like 5 meters maybe. And he asks, okay, so you're Radha, right? Yeah, so I only have one question for you. What should I eat? He asks me. Right away, the girl gives me the information. Right away, she says, meat, meat. He should eat meat. So that's what I tell him. You should eat meat. And his reaction, he just laughs and he's like, that's wrong. I don't eat meat for like, I don't know, 10 years already. I don't eat any meat. Wrong guess. And he just, and he leaves. And I sit there with that headache because like my head, really, it feels like my head is going to explode any moment now. And at that time I wasn't even using any medicines, so I didn't even have a painkiller with me to stop it. So I'm just sitting there. I'm supposed to go to class already, but I'm sitting there struggling with this pain, and I'm like looking at the girl like, why did you give me wrong information? And she said, I didn't. No, but the man doesn't eat meat and you told me to tell him to eat meat. And she says, exactly, he should eat meat. That was correct. I'm like, but he doesn't, he's vegan or whatever. And she says, he should eat meat. It's because he doesn't eat meat that you have this headache. And that was like, explain, what is that? Like, I need to understand this. And she started breaking it down. She actually showed me that's the only reason. Don't you understand? That's why you have headache. Because he doesn't eat meat. He should stop already. He's accelerating so much. He's already unable to sustain that acceleration, that speed, because like high speed at this technique that he was, like this lifestyle that he was living with this vegan diet and all of the rest of the things that he was practicing. So basically he was in constant acceleration. So he's speeding up, speeding up, speeding up, but absolutely unable to slow down and stop. So at that mode of functioning, what happens is you gather so much energy on your top chakras. Let's say, like, again, if we imagine like a human as these 7 chakras vertically, and she shows me like, look at him, like, and she showed me the energetic image of him where he was standing. He had almost like no energy at the bottom. Like, these bottom chakras are like pretty much empty, and even the silhouette is like nothing, 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 and on top we're a huge bubble around his head. So energetically, that's how he looked. Actually, physically, he looked kind of similar to, he was very tall, very thin, like skinny, tall, long body, and huge head. Like skinny with big head. That's how he looked physically, imbalanced, and energetically. That's how he looked as well, with that huge head. And she showed me the mechanism of that is just like her explanation, that whatever he is doing, this vegan diet, whatever he feels, that's just ego. That's not, it has nothing to do with spirituality, expansion of consciousness, or nothing. That's just ego, and he needs to stop. If he doesn't stop now, if he doesn't stop accelerating, he's gonna run into walls, as she said. Like he will lose his friends, his work, his family, his health, his like life is gonna stop him, because you cannot expand and accelerate endlessly without balancing it, without grounding, without spreading that knowledge and that light and that information throughout the whole body. What he does is that he receives on top, receives constantly, and he enjoys that. Oh my God, I have connection on top. I'm receiving. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. He receives and he throws that information right out, right at you. That's why you have headache, because he's able to receive a lot, but he doesn't do the hard work to take it in, hold it, be patient, be slow, be humble, digest that information first. Digest it, process it, integrate it, live with that information silently for a few years at least. And after you digested it, then share it from lower chakras, like from, you embody it first, and then you shine that light out. What he does is like being lazy, and that's just like receiving that huge amount of light without any processing, throwing it at the students, at everyone, to impress. That feels good. Like, I'm amazing. I'm impressing everyone. Everyone is stupid compared to me, because I speak like such amazing truths and nobody understands nothing. It's because they're stupid. And she told me this phrase, once you're a teacher, if you're a teacher, and if you're explaining things to students and your students don't understand you, it's not because students are stupid. It's because you're a bad teacher. And that was like, because no, maybe students are stupid. No, never, never. If you're a good teacher, you receive, you transmute, you integrate, you translate that information that you have, that knowledge that you have, you translate it into the language of those whom you will be teaching. So if you're teaching, I don't know, kids, like, you don't go to first grade and speak the advanced language of, you don't do that, right? You translate it to the language that these people will understand, their level, you have to learn their language and translate whatever information you receive into that language. Then you're a good teacher. But then you have to be really humble, and then you have to work a lot in darkness alone, translating that, and not just receiving and running, throwing it at people, because that's ego. So if your vegan or vegetarian diet has those roots, I'll explain more, but that's how she gave me that information for the first time. That's how I was introduced on that specific example of that specific man. And it was a perfect example to actually witness it, because he did, a few years later, he did lose his job, friends, family. He divorced. He had a wife and 2 daughters, I think. He lost all. And I'm not following him. I don't know what happened later, but that acceleration did cost him things. But this is the idea that I'm trying to share in this specific video, about the understanding of stages or phases of growth. That if you want to grow, and if you have this the root of this misunderstanding is when we draw a person as just like on a piece of paper. We draw chakras like vertically, right? We present like if we would be two-dimensional beings, and if we would be like cartoons drawn on a piece of paper, yeah, then for you, if you're a 2D cartoon character, expansion for you would be like either going up or down. So you have only two options. So you choose like, I don't want to go down, I want to go up. That's the root of like showing you chakras as being presented vertically on a 2D paper, caused this confusion that people decided, oh, okay, everything that's up is better, everything that's down is worse. That's bad, that's good, I want to go there always. Go higher, higher, higher. Meaning, if that's speeding up, going down is slowing down. Like, I don't want to slow down, I want to only accelerate, 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 higher, higher. Why? Because higher is better. Why? Because higher is the sky, all the spiritual things, people, angels, it's all up there somewhere, because we're 2D cartoon characters. So all the good things is up in that direction, and all the bad things we're leaving here, leaving, dropping all this disgusting stuff. Like, I don't want to have anything in common with this dirt, disgust, all these like earthly people and issues and problems. Or I don't want to know anything about death, dead bodies, meat, all the disgusting part I leave on earth, and I move up. So that's the root of this confusion, where it all started, misunderstanding, which led to this misuse of vegetarian and vegan diets. This root, once you understand that you are not 2D cartoon character, movement up for you is not actually like the solution. Like going up, okay, where are you going? Up, up, up. I want to go, I want to leave all this disgusting stuff here, I want to go, because what? When you understand that you are a symbiosis of two parts, one is the soul, yeah, located higher, probably up, and second part is the body, the animal. Probably if we take the chakral system in these seven chakras, upper three would be the domain of the soul or consciousness, whatever you call it. That's simplification, okay? So that would be like the top part is where the soul feels more comfortable, and the lower part is where the animal is living, right? So you're like, I want to drop all that all that low stuff, all the low frequencies, low energies. I basically want to drop the body, and I want to move up. My question is, what's the rush? Why are you in such a hurry to go up and drop the body? Because you're like, oh yeah, I'm a soul, I'm spirit, I want to move. Yeah, you are. Nobody is questioning that. You are a spirit. But you are currently in a physical reality. And there is a reason for that. My question, why are you in such a rush to leave this physical reality? Go become spirit again. That's what you are anyway. That's what you're gonna become when you die. What's such a rush to die sooner? Because you think there it will be better. The confusion is that you imagine yourself as a 2D cartoon character, going up, the higher you go, the better. But your main impulse that's pushing you go higher is fear, to look down, and ego. Like, I'm amazing, I'm a soul, all others are animals, they have no soul, they're not gods, I'm God, I'm going to the source. That's ego. That's a misunderstanding of this whole purpose of this place where you've come for some reason. And your desire to go up is actually, how you say, the impulse that's pushing you to go up is fear to look down, fear to deal with all this low density, disgusting physical stuff and people and their problems and all that. I don't want to deal with this. I want to run, faster, go up. I run. So this thing is, if you're running from, you're now in physical, You want to escape, you want to run to the spiritual. News for you. The moment you reach spiritual, when you leave the body, you will do the same thing. You'll be so shocked by that space, you will want to run back to the physical, escape, because that's your impulse. You're escaping. You're in physical, you're escaping to spiritual. The moment when you're in spiritual, you will try to escape to the physical back. That's the whole point and idea of samsara. That's what you do. Escape from here, there, then you see shocked what is there, then you escape back here, you're shocked here, you escape back there, and you're never comfortable anywhere because you always wish to escape, because your impulse is to run from something. You run from here, there, you see that, I guarantee like 1000%. The moment you face that, you'll be so shocked, you'll run back here. So you will just incarnate and forever. So that's what you get when you try to run and escape. You just get more of the same stuff. So the moment when when you realize if you're here, if you learn to be fine with where you are here, while you're here, you learn to be fine with this. Then the moment when you naturally do transition, you will be stable enough to be comfortable there in non-physical, because that's going to be your habit. It's a habit that you have now to run, escape. You'll keep doing that there. I'm repeating the same point because I want to make it so clear. The moment you learn to be fine with where you are, that's when you'll have a habit to be stable and comfortable wherever you are. So the moment when you leave the body naturally, you'll arrive to that place and you'll be able to stay there because that's your habit. Be comfortable with wherever you are. So if you're escaping, I guarantee you're in this loop forever. So that's the first, the root of that misunderstanding, that higher is better. We should all go higher, 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 and everything that's higher, like meditate more, eat only vegetables, like look at, eat the sun, like pray and go up, 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 ignore the bottom. That is the confusion based on that seeing yourself as a cartoon character on a 2D paper. But when you realize that you are actually 3D, and expansion, like in 3D, growth means expansion. Like in 3D, a plant, like if you see the surface of the earth, you see a plant growing upwards. You do understand, right, that this plant growing in 3D means that it's expanding. It's growing in both directions at the same time. If it's growing this way, it means that the roots are growing that way. And actually, roots are growing first, and only then it sprouts. So that's the idea of 3D. Growth in 3D means expansion in both directions at the same time. That's the difference between a cartoon character drawn on a flat piece of paper and a real body, real physical body. If we take an example of balloon, if you try to inflate a balloon, you do understand that if balloon has volume and if it's like 3D balloon, you will need to, like, if you're like you try to blow into that balloon to make it like grow and expand, inflating that balloon, a healthy like good balloon will expand in all directions at the same time, right? If you see a balloon, you start like inflating it, and you notice that it's only growing in one direction only, you do realize, right, that there's something wrong with this balloon. It's going to blow up very quickly, because like a balloon, naturally you're expecting it to grow in all directions. When you see that it's only growing upwards, you see the risk. So like I wish you will see the same risk in inflating yourself in one direction only. The more you inflate, the closer you are to explosion of that defective balloon. So with this understanding, that should bring some clarity already. So how does expansion look in 3D? If it is not just upwards, then how, like, what is the upwards and downwards at the same time? That's so hard to do. Like, how do we do that? And here is the easiest way to understand this is, again, the same process of inflating a balloon. You do know, right, that when you're inflating, you inhale, you get the balloon, you exhale maximum amount of air that you're currently able to give out, then you stop, maybe you hold the balloon, or without it you inhale one more time through the nose, for example, and then you blow into the balloon again. So you do have this clear understanding of balloons, right? Of inflating balloons, that there will be phases, there will be stages of expansion. You will give as much as you can once, you'll take a break, you'll take more air, you'll give more, you'll stop, you'll take more. You understand, you get that on a balloon, right? So I want you to now copy that same image onto your own growth and expansion. That expecting yourself to only, like, if you try to inflate a balloon by one long exhale, only in one direction, let's just go only upwards, only up. So this inhale and exhale would be like, exhale, you give out some air, inhale, you go to 0 point. Expand, contract. Your lungs are expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. Only this way you are effective at inflating balloons, right? So in the same way, if you try to inflate your consciousness or like expand your consciousness, you should follow the same scheme. If you try to just like take the balloon and just like, I'm gonna expand it with one big long breath, one exhale, and you just go like, and you keep going, like, there you will reach a point at which, like, you can keep doing that. Yeah, you can keep doing, like, no, I'm not gonna stop, I'm not gonna take one more breath in, I'm not gonna inhale, I'm gonna just keep pushing, yeah, at a certain point, like, your eyes will start popping out, your ears will start popping out, but you keep exhaling, keep pushing, and maybe you will do it for a while, but you get the idea, right? That expansion only is not very effective. Your physical body is not designed for that. Your consciousness is willing to do that, because that's what consciousness does. That's what consciousness does since the very beginning. Like, that's what it does. It just expands because it has no limitation of the physical body. You have to realize that that's why these guys are wishing to go up, because there's no limitation of physical body. They want to drop this physical body. They want to go up and just keep expanding, because it becomes kind of like, the feeling it is kind of addictive. Expanding faster, accelerating, more and more. You don't want to stop, because there is a fear, like, if I stop, what if I can't reach that high speed again? What if, like, it stops and I'll go back to 0? Oh my god, like, no, I should keep going, accelerating, and at some point you already can't hold that amount of acceleration, that speed, that amount of light, and you will just like, but you keep holding, because like, you need to keep exhaling, your eyes are popping out, your ears are like, but you keep pushing, keep expanding, keep accelerating out of fear to stop. And that is the danger of this whole thing. So I hope that part I made clear. So the natural phases of expansion, contraction. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, going from consciousness of this is Sophia consciousness, everything. Jesus, Christ consciousness, let's say, nothing. Sophia consciousness, everything. Christ consciousness, nothing. So going from everything to nothing. I'm everything, I'm nothing. I'm God, I'm nobody. I'm God, I'm animal. I'm God, I'm animal. Going to these two stages are very important for healthy expansion, healthy growth. If you just push on one side only, the mechanism starts I don't know the word proper word in English, but it start causing problems. And what we see is that until you actually drop the body, like if you really succeed in like exhaling into the balloon until like your eyes pop, you'll just die. Good, congratulations, you can just be free and start all over again. But if you don't die right away, you will just break the machine, break the body. That's where you get all these cancers, all these broken legs, broken families, lost money, lost relationships, and so on. Because you keep expanding when it's already time to take a break, go to zero, and do again. Why is this stage important? That stage of going in, stopping, integrating, as with that understanding that I gave about like being a good teacher. If you're a good channeler, like you receive a lot, you should be slow and humble to process it, give it time to become part of you. Why is this important? I like to give this example from the school times. I don't know if I've used it on the channel already or not, but I give this example of when you're just going to school, for example, and you on the one class, for the first time you hear, for example, about Alexander the Great, and you like for the first time you hear the whole story, and your teacher is like really good, and he or she told you that like it in such bright details and colors, and you get so amazed by this. Oh my god. You run home and you start telling to everyone like, oh my god, I learned something so amazing. This Alexander the Great, he was so amazing, he did this, he did this, he was like that, he was like, he conquered so much, he was like that. And you're so amazed by that knowledge. You're like, understand, like at that point when you're amazed and excited about learning this information about Alexander the Great, that information does not belong to you yet. It's just information, you just heard it, and you need to repeat it. That's why you feel this urge to repeat it, throw it out, repeat it, so that you're repeating to yourself as well, so that it's kind of like starts like building, connecting into you. So that excitement of a child, oh my god, Alexander, and you'll do it for a while, probably not forever, but after a while, like your interest about this, excitement about this new learning will subside. You'll calm down a bit, and you'll maybe forget some details, but some of this knowledge about Alexander you will keep. Whatever gets integrated into you gets stored in the actual memory, in the hard drive, not in this daily memory where you actually need to talk about it, not just to not to forget. You have to keep talking about it, throwing without internalizing, without integrating first. So as a kid you were doing this, and what happens when you actually integrate that knowledge? Maybe like a year later, if someone asks you, have you ever read anything about Alexander the Great, you will give some facts. Those will be the facts that you already integrated. That's your knowledge, that's your knowing, and you will not be so excited to share that anymore. This is the key. This is very important point of difference when you're excited about information, and when you've integrated, there's no more excitement left. You still can talk about Alexander the Great, probably your eyes will not be shining like the first day. So that key is, I will connect, just keep it in mind, because like every piece of knowledge that you've ever received, you needed that stage, those phases of receiving information and integrating, receiving and integrating. And only the information that you've actually integrated, when you share it, people will be able to receive it properly. If you're sharing information that you've just learned today, there is very high chances that uh, the information will be distorted. You will miss a lot of details, and you will it will not be as effective as when you've integrated that fact. So there was a moment, even in the idea of integration, to get it even deeper, to understand it even deeper, is I'm waving my hands here all the time. So there was a moment when I didn't know that this hand was mine. For example, when I was a baby, I saw it once for the first time, and I realized, oh wow, it's moving. Wow, it's moving. It's mine. I have two. They're mine. And so there was a moment when even this was exciting news to me, to find out that I have hands, arms, whatever. And I was excited probably at that moment. Look at this. Look what I have. Look what I have. That was the moment of learning something new, excitement. Now, probably, if you, I don't know about you, but I don't feel that excited about my having hands and arms anymore. So that's the integration. When I'm excited about having an arm, it means I haven't integrated it yet. The moment I integrate it, it just becomes a part of me. And if you ask me about my arms, yeah, I can tell you something about them, but my eyes will not be shining like crazy. This is the key why I'm talking about this excitement specifically, is because recently I've been noticing I've been paying attention actually, because this topic was on my mind, and I've been paying attention to some channelers, some mentors who are posting a lot on YouTube. And this key, when you want to filter some of the channelings and some of the mentors and teachers who are spreading all kinds of information, how to understand which ones are more effective to follow is by one of these symptoms. First symptom is excitement. If a person has excitement, I've learned, I watched this one specifically, it just shocked me so bad. There was a girl, I'm like, oh, my guides told me that coffee is evil. Coffee is evil, you shouldn't drink it. You shouldn't drink it. I realized my guides told me, and she's she's excited about this information. That's number one thing to pay attention to. Second is when you just receive the information, you receive only half. That's how I also receive. I receive half, then it takes me years to live with that information, live with it, understand what was the actual meaning of it, what was the purpose, why they gave it to me at that specific time, what was I going through in that moment, connect all the tick, 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 tick dots. When I connect, then when I internalize that information, when I live with that, I see the second part. It's this puzzle, it's a capsule. You get the top from them, then you have to find the matching bottom. When you match these top and bottom, all your excitement just goes away, subsides right away, because when you get, oh my god, war is bad, war is bad, war is bad. That's half of the puzzle. When you live with that fact for long enough, you see how war is good in many ways. And then you lose all excitement of talking about war at all, because for you it becomes like a whole concept, and there's nothing exciting about it, there's nothing bad about it, there's nothing good about it, it's just a thing. And you look at it the way you wish to look at it. And when the guides are giving this information for the first time to such a girl that I've been giving you as an example, this desire to throw this information right away is showing that excitement to share it shows the idea, understanding that the person doesn't want to actually spend time to live with that information, to take it easy, take it slow, get the other half, and understand that like nothing comes without the other half. If they told you coffee is bad, coffee is evil, let's not drink coffee, but that's only half of information. Coffee is good for accelerating. Coffee is bad if your task right now is to slow down. So in this specific case, her guides are telling this specific girl that I've seen on YouTube that she's accelerating already so much, she needs to start slowing down, she needs to stop, she needs to stop. And to her guides are directly saying, stop drinking coffee, you stop drinking coffee. And the girl, instead of living with that, instead of actually following it, she just throws it into public. And this multiplies confusion in people. That's why I want to point out these examples, because that's how the confusion on earth is multiplied. Because people who get only half, they feel so excited about it and so ready to just share it right away. And just there's enough confusion on earth already. So these guys are multiplying it. Another example, for another mentor, also sitting in this meditative pose with all the like fully so spiritual, just like his house is spiritual, his hair is spiritual, his clothes are spiritual, like he's so spiritual, like to the core. And he is giving this information of that metro, subway, underground, whatever is the word you use, is evil. It's bad for you. You should never go underground. You should never go in subway, because that's where all the evil spirits and all these disgusting bad entities are living. And every time you enter subway, they attach to you. It's like, oh my god, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, there are millions of people who have to go to work every day using subway. So now what, after they hear something like this, do you understand that you're just multiplying and fears? They already have enough fears, these people, in their lives, and you're just adding more fears. Let's be afraid of coffee now. Let's be afraid of subway. What more is there to be afraid of? And they're just sitting, and instead of actually internalizing that knowledge, there are guides actually telling this guy, specific man, that he should not be going to subway. He specifically should not be going to subway right now, because he's like so spiritual, he's so spiritual that he's accelerating already for so long, for with already accelerated so much that he will not be able to handle that low frequency of underground, for example. He specifically, because he's already broken so many like the rules of balanced expansion, and his guides are trying to protect him from losing his mind. Because with that distortion, with that I'm so light, I'm full of light, I'm Jesus, I'm so spiritual, I'm so spiritual. If you go with that look into the earth, yeah, you will not handle it. You will not handle. You're not ready. So guides are telling him, instead of living, he just posts a video for the whole world to follow that misinterpreted guidance. So that's what I'm trying to, at least my audience, I wish you to be more careful about like sorting through the content on the internet and being able to tell by these little symptoms if a person is judging something as good or bad. That's a symptom of confusion. The person is not ready to be teaching or sharing yet. He's just rushing too much. There are a lot of guides. Like when you see people like Sadhguru or Muji or Abraham Hicks once again, or channelers like Bashar or like Lee Harris, like people who are presenting concepts as a whole, They're presenting, like they're not judging, like there are bad things in the world, good things. You should escape that, you should run from this to this. They don't give that. They give you explanations. They give you technical explanation of concepts. And if you look at these people, they're generally more calm. They're not excited. Like usually they don't have this, I've learned something, I need to share with you. They don't have that in their behavior. Usually they received that, then they're internalized and they're calm and they're just sharing. That's the difference. If there is excitement, positive excitement, like I learned, or negative excitement, oh, I learned something so dramatic, there's evil spirits underground. Also, that same guy said that you should not go to nightclubs. Nightclubs are the places where all the evil resides. But I'm pretty sure that among you, the audience who is watching this now, probably there is a lot of people who've already like digested that kind of energy. You've lived, maybe in your lifetime you had the period where you've went through that and you've learned how to digest that type of energy, and you probably have already learned how to enter a place like any kind of nightclub and not be damaged by it. Like you're able to handle it, you're able to digest, you're able to deal with that. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on there, but you've spent your time internalizing that, living through that. Like you got it right. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are like able to handle a nightclub and not be damaged by it, because you've spent time in your life dealing and learning how to deal with those frequencies, with those people. You'll not be afraid of those people, of those interactions and so on. So once again, the guides are telling this specific guy, don't go in the underground, don't go to clubs. He, instead of working on himself, tells everyone that's evil. Club's evil, let's destroy all metro and live in forest, because he's living in Bali, in forest, so he's comfortable there, and you all who are living in big cities and have to go to work by metro should just, I don't know what you should do according to his logic. So this is the idea. I'm still going around the same concept of healthy growth being expansion, stop, contraction, stop, expansion, stop, contraction, stop. And this would be a healthy mechanism. Before you learn how to perform both of these actions effectively, you should not be teaching anyone and should not be gathering followers, as in my opinion. So these are the key moments, because this whole process of internalizing the light does consist of stages where you are totally disoriented by the knowledge you receive. At first it looks so disorienting, and you feel like you want to throw it away because it's disorienting. Like when you learn about this Alexander the Great, you want to just throw it, mama, papa, parents, everyone, you want to throw it away because it's so exciting. Your head is pulsating and you want to just share, tell everyone. But yeah, I understand the motive why you do it, but be careful if you're doing it with when there are already people actually listening to your advices, and those advices can actually harm them. So how do we connect food with all this? There is the stage from this whole expansion thing. In these two stages of expansion and contraction, we are moving our focus from the soul and the body, because until we're able to hold focus at both of them at the same time, to be this and that at the same time, and to actually, as I've described in one of the videos where I was talking about this ability to watch two screens at the same time, not losing parts of the screen play on neither of those screens. So that's the ability that we're supposed to reach when we become fully human. We're supposed to be Christ consciousness and Sophia consciousness at the same time. God and animal at the same time, without the delay. But until we reach that perfect state of stability and being so centered and so balanced and so expanded to actually perform consciousness of Sophia and consciousness of Christ at the same time, until we get there, we need to train to learn like what each of these states, each of these phases feels like, what it because it does represent and it does feel different. It does play out differently in daily routines and daily lifetimes. How you feel, how you, what you feel like eating, what you feel like doing. So this is the closing moment. Probably I'll finalize with this, and I hope it will be helpful. So the moments, I will give example of myself. The moments when I am sharing information with you, I'm recording videos. Those of you who are here since I started probably noticed that I have a very active period of sharing, and then a silent period where I'm offline. So this is a perfect example of me going through these two stages, that I'm able to shine only when I am in the center, fully in the Christ consciousness. That's the moment when my focus is in the center. That is when I shine. That's a paradox, but this whole thing is all about paradoxes. It's like if you want to shine, you're supposed to be nothing. But it's very hard to stay feeling and being nothing for too long. My maximum, like with this YouTube channel at least, is 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks I'm able to feel like I'm nothing, and that time I'm shining and I'm giving clear information and being able to explain things to you well. But in that moment when I feel like nothing, I'm hearing my guides perfectly clear. I'm following every message they send to me absolutely clear. There is these specific tips to being in that center, because when I'm fully centered and I have this clear connection and I'm giving you information like whatever I already received before, I've already internalized, and I'm sharing from here, from the heart center. That's how I can guarantee that you will be able to understand. And in that moment, I live in such fine-tuned connection with the guides that I cannot actually make even one wrong step. Like, I don't make any decisions in those 2 weeks. Like, I don't make a decision when to have a drink of water, when to sleep, what to eat, whom to call, where to go, what to wear. I don't make any decisions. I am totally and absolutely surrendered. I'm totally fully guided. I always know my next step, like that 0 point state. I'm fully relaxed, fully surrendered, and I don't decide what I will do next. I just know. I just know my next step and next step and next step, and I don't go deviate from those steps that they're giving me. And that is how I guarantee that my channeling will come clear to you, with clarity, with easy. It will be easy for you to understand. In that moment when I'm living in 0 point, in the Christ consciousness, I don't eat almost anything. If I do eat, I eat only bread and sugar. like pure pure sugar, pure glucose, because that is what is the easiest to digest. I realized it later, but I've been using it for years. They've been guiding me to do this. Even when I was writing the book, I wrote the whole book eating just sugar, just chocolates, sugar, sweets. And as soon as I finished the book, I was able to eat normal food again. And I was guided to do that way because that's how I am much more effective for transmitting a clear message. So water, sugar, bread, like sweets, some fruits. When I'm in that stage of nothingness and like 0 point, the Christ consciousness, I will be talking about these Christ and Sophia consciousness separately later. But that in that point, the diet here is the point, is the diet. So in that point, that is the moment for being vegan, vegetarian, so on, to keep up that speed and that acceleration. Why I need that? Because as soon as I eat something heavy, like I don't know, like meat or something that needs like hard and long digestion, my body will have to participate. You get it, right? So like I will not be able to sustain that high speed if I eat something heavy, which needs like long digestion, which stays in the system for long, and the body needs more time to work through it and get rid of the waste. And so that is the stage, that is the phase, and the technical characteristics. When you understand the technical characteristics of that point of nothingness, how to get there, that's what I described in the book. And when you stay in that center, you naturally shine. So if your desire is to shine, and for this you're staying, trying to be vegan or vegetarian, but if you're actually not fully aligned with the heart center, then what you get is a split, as that man at the very beginning of this video, the story that I told you, the teacher, that's the split that he had. He tried to be vegan, but he's not located in, like his consciousness is not residing at the heart chakra yet. He's living fully in the head, and he's trying to shine from here, not from the center. From here, he's shining. And that gives people headache. So just consider, if you're a vegan and if people get annoyed by you, or if you like have a lot of overthinking in your life and you deal with that, or people tell you, oh, you're overthinking, that might be the reason that you're trying to live here. You're not here yet, and you're trying to shine already. That's why I insist that if you're here, living here, it's too early for you to shine. Find a way to land in the heart first. And for that, what you're gonna need to do is to look down at the animal part, those lower three chakras, because when you live here, you don't actually live fully here, because you still have the body, right? There is still some consciousness which sustains the body. So what you get is you actually become split into two pieces, two parts. There are two you, one in the head, one at the very bottom. And that bottom one, because this is the center, once again, if you're not here, you're up here, you're split. Somebody has to sustain the body still. So an animal is still sustaining the body, but the animal feels deprived and rejected and denied its rights. So that whole thing of like being a child who is denied of parents' love, or that whole the story of being neglected or unloved, unwanted. So the split, actually, like if you're living here, it means like you're actually living down there. And that down there part of you is miserable, living in rejection, neglect, and suppression, and that's dangerous. Just so you get it, it's not very effective because like it can stay silent for a while, but there will be triggers, there will be like like turns on this highway where that animal suppressed will cause you trouble. So the center, these two phases of my specific, in my specific example, when I am sharing with you, when I'm recording these videos, I don't eat, or I eat very rarely, very little portions, some fruits, some vegetables, very little, mostly just bread and sugar. That is the easiest way. It's like high octane fuel for this machine. But I cannot do this endlessly. At some point, especially when they're like, that's why I tell those commenters like who sometimes like jump out in front of me when I'm at this high speed and high acceleration. Like it costs me so much time and energy to prepare this machine for high speed operation. Then I really sacrifice a lot, like to stay in that mode. And it is, imagine it as like a high-speed racing car that I prepare. I do all the maintenance for so long. I prepare. I tune it, tune every mechanism. Then I put this high-octane fuel, and I start like driving on this high speed track, and I'm giving this information, and then one of you just jumps out from the crowd, jumps onto my track in front of me with some comment like, but no, like wanting to argue or stop me. And for me, how much effort I need to just silent, like push on the brakes not to hit you, because at that speed I'll just like hit through you. If I hit you at that speed on which I'm working, the damage will be unfixable. So what I have to do, when you jump out with your butt comment, suddenly you appear on my track, I push on this brakes and I burn the brakes, I damage the machine just to be able to drive around you calmly. Because my natural instinct is to just drive right through. If you would be devil standing on my track, with pleasure I would just drive right through. That's how I win the devil, because the speed allows me to just, and having no pity or no mercy, I can just drive right through that evil spirit, evil being, whatever you call them, and I destroy that thing that I drive through at that speed. So that's why I give those commenters, like when you're watching a high speed race, for example, you're sitting on the like with the people, even if you think somebody is driving their car wrong, you probably don't jump on the track to tell them, right? You discuss it with your friends. You're like, oh, he's driving wrong, she's driving wrong, because like you understand that like while that car is going so fast, it's not the time to jump in front of it with your opinion. You're gonna cause a lot of harm to yourself and to the car and to everyone who is around. So that speed of being at the very center, it requires a lot of work, focus, maintenance, and that is the time to be vegan, vegetarian, whatever. But I don't know about you, but I am unable to sustain that for a long time, because there's a lot of people who jump out in front of me all the time and cause me to damage this machine, pushing the brakes, pushing the brakes, pushing the brakes with every negative comment. So I need to take some time to do maintenance, to be gone for a couple of weeks or so, and work on the broken things that I've just burned while trying to go around you with your comments. So in that time when I'm working on fixing the broken parts of the machine, I do need protein. I do need something to slow me down. When I eat meat, it gives like this digestion of the meat is actually work for the body. It's actually like my body is so busy digesting meat, it's unable to think. And that's exactly what I need to be able to rest. Because if I will be thinking all the time, my head will expand like that teacher's like head, expanding, explaining, exploding one moment. But being able to actually be slow, be humble, not rush anywhere, go to silence, to nothingness, not worrying that, oh, my subscribers will lose me or will lose interest to me, or whatever is the motivation of those who post something constantly. I don't have that motivation, because for me, maintenance of this machine is the most important thing. And to do maintenance in these 2 weeks, I do whatever my mind comes up with. I eat whatever comes to my mind. I'm sweating, sorry. So in these 2 weeks of rest, my diet switches from fruits and sugar to anything that comes to my mind, including meat and so on. And that allows me to restore the machine faster. But to be able to go from this to this, from this to this, you need skills. You need to be fine with dead animals, with eating dead animals. You have to be like, if you have some issues like feeling guilty or ashamed or disgusted when you eat dead meat, like dead bodies, then it's not going to be easy for you to switch from this to this, from this to this. But understanding that each stage has specific purpose and has specific characteristics, you can actually use them more effectively, and understand that in that stage, when I'm fixing my machine, I take the break, I eat whatever my body is asking for, I do things, I watch some, I don't know, absolutely stupid and scary movies, or I allow whatever comes out to come out, and I act not as clever, as intelligent as I do when I'm recording my videos. So this is the difference. And sticking to only one has proven to be not very effective, because there is still a lot of animal in me, and I love it, and that animal needs attention, that animal serves me very well, that animal is really helpful and really strong, and it has been working and protecting me for so long and very effectively. I'm so grateful to this animal, and I respect this animal, I respect this body, and I appreciate the work that this body is doing for me being consciousness, that I cannot be so egoistic to just be in my head all the time only. I have to respect this machine. I have to respect this animal and listen to it, listen to its worries, to its fears, to its pain, to its blockages, to its traumas. And that's what the integration time is for, to go through all that integration. And when I'm integrating, I am not a mentor, I'm not a teacher, I am just being me. So these things, I hope that part got clear enough. I don't need to go into more details of nutrition and food and so on. I hope if you still do have questions about nutrition, like there's a lot more to the subject, being like breaking this whole nutrition thing down, but I want you to get the understanding, the main idea: expansion, contraction, 2 functions, 2 stages, 2 phases, different characteristics, and both phases are important. And as for choosing whom to listen to, pay attention to these signs. If person is excited, he's probably unstable. He's probably either on top or at the very bottom, in fear or in ego and excitement. And neither this nor that is actually a place to be teaching from. People who are teaching from the center are calm, and they are able to explain paradoxes, able to explain everything as having both good and bad in them, not putting labels on coffees, metros, and nightclubs. Okay. Also, one more thing that might for the ending, I'll mention one more thing, as you can also spot it by the high pitch sound voice of the person, it shows a lot about where this person is coming from, where this speech, where these words are coming from. Because someone who is rooted deeply in the body will have a deep voice, will have a deep, calm, rooted voice. If you ever hear a mentor talking with high pitch voice and with excitement, be careful. That's it. I don't want to show how I sound when I speak high pitch voice, but and I do that in that period of integration. I don't want to show. I had in my mind to show it, but I think I will not. I sound very unconvincing and very disturbing when I speak from my head, and that is the moment when I'm trying to get attention from somebody who is near me, close by, and I will be expressing emotions with high pitch voice. If you hear that, run. If you hear me doing that, run, escape. So I hope this was useful. See you later.